How does your stress and emotional well-being affect your eating habits? Why you overeat, black man? What you can do about it? Let's dive deep. Welcome and overview. Hotep and welcome, black man. Indoctrination was the miseducation. Quote by Dr. Boz Moreno. Today, I want to dive deep into a critical topic. Why you overeat and what you can do about it. We will explore the reasons behind overeating and its impact on health and actionable solutions and steps you can take to combat this particular issue known as overeating. The goal here is to create awareness about the food you consume, and you don't need overpriced nutritionists and fancy programs. What you need is discipline. What you will learn: solutions for manage overeating, the relationship between food and health for Americanized African men, practical tips and real life solutions and stories, how to make informed nutritional choices, ways to foster better habits and improve your overall health. Do cultural and family traditions influence the types and amounts of foods you eat? The problem: overeating and its impact. Did you know that overeating can lead to serious health problems like obesity, like diabetes, and much more? Prostate cancer, especially for you, black man. Something that we don't really think about till after we're on our deathbed. It's interesting too when you look at celebrities and you be wondering why these celebrities be having these certain issues. You know, we find out that they have cancer or some form of cancer or some dis-ease that they've been working with throughout their lives. But then you look at them on a healthy scale, if they're even healthy, what they're eating. Like, remember that big movement back in the early 2000s, Rick Ross? You know, early 2000s. Rick Ross was all about, you know, losing weight, this, that, and the third. And you starting to see all these themes throughout, especially with black men and with our overeating. Not just black men, but we see that within this country. That it's a lot of undisciplined men, and we see that within our food, we see that within our culture, we see that within our relationships, and vice versa. But what is the impact? What is this impact? Let's break it down. Right now in North America, obesity is at its all-time high. Nearly 40% of adults are considered obese. And diabetes? We won't even go there. It affects over 30 million people in the U.S. alone. Why is this happening? You ever thought about that? Why is this happening? When our society at once upon a time, we was actually banking in on being more healthy. You know, when you look at the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, even the 80s, technically. So the 90s came around, then we had availability to all this supplementation and different forms of fast food, you know. And we know fast food industry is killing us, period, point blank. Something we don't really comprehend or think about. But It's all about we eat too much. Period, point blank. Especially when you're stressed and not paying attention to what you're eating, putting in your body. You usually reaching for sugary snacks. Now, how many of you can agree with that? Reaching for them sugary snacks, oversized meals without even thinking about the long-term effects. Then you're wondering why you're not even around here when your child is an adult. We're going through these, and it's interesting too, because we're showing how backwards we're going, especially in the black community. The black community having so many problems where they're exacerbated, right? Even with this Amber Rose bullshit, we got all these issues that we're dealing with or sticking with and allowing it to affect our culture, and we're not even addressing it with the right understanding of sitting down, politicking. What are our values? What are our views? You see what I'm saying? Let's get clear on what's going on, especially as a black man. We tend to put it off. We tend to be attracted to the entertainment, right? The entertainment value. Even though the entertainment value haven't got you anywhere. You see in Kanye, you see the P. Diddy's, you see all these particular industry plants, because that's what they are. They're plants to destroy you, black man, period, hands down. So overeating is not only adds extra pounds, but it also puts strain on your body. If you can't see that, something is truly wrong. Because look, a lot of us are stressed out with eating. Stress, our anxiety, we start eating other things and things we don't care about. With the gentleman, hence the fries, the burgers, the Chick-fil-A, the Burger King, the McDonald's, etc. This can lead to heart disease, high blood pressure, and yes, diabetes. And it's 3 types of diabetes, right? The last type, we know the first type. And a lot of us is interesting too, because a lot of us, especially black men, because we're not working out, we're not adding value to our life. You know what I'm saying? We don't take the time to really get our heart rate up, get our clarity, get our breathing right. We're smoking, we're doing all these things that's adding drama to our lives, and then we're up here trying to get a positive response from the community or the culture. It's pretty backwards. We're pretty backwards, people. You know what I'm saying? Black man, we've definitely been pretty backwards. And I'm talking to you. I'm definitely talking to you, because these conditions can be definitely seriously affecting your quality of life, right? But here's the good news. You can change this, by making mindful choices, like eating more fruits, vegetables, drinking more water instead of soda, and being active. You could take control of your health when you want it, so be aware of what's going on around you, what you're putting in your body. Your health is worth it. Remember, small changes can make a big difference. It's a significant problem here in the Northwest and globally. We can see it throughout our country and other countries. Therefore, I know when you're looking at statistics, obesity is one of the up and coming titan. I think America, or U.S., North America, is in 3rd place, correct? If I'm correct, you can always check out the data. But North America is in the 3rd position of obesity when you're talking. First, I think it was Egypt. Quiet as it kept, Africa, Egypt, Africa, as well as the second one was Mexico, right? So Mexico just have created and became the 2nd largest effect of obesity and many other diseases. So let's discuss why you overeat and how it affects your community. Many of you overeat because food is a big part of your culture. I can't even explain how many brothers always talking about, oh, my soul food, I've been eating like this and that. But then you're wondering, it's interesting too, because even as a youngster, you you eat whatever, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you grew up in a home that, eating pork and beans, your soul food dishes, your potato salad, all these other so-called ideology of the soul food, what makes up soul food in the black community. Not just soul food. I mean, don't take me wrong. We got some middle class brothers and sisters out there, even brothers who actually got access to good quality foods. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to you, brother, who hasn't been taking control or taking ownership of your health, right? So what do? These compound bad habits compound, literally. They compound and they create other diseases. Then we're wondering why we got all these weird ass diseases coming out in the black community. That's the crazy thing. And then even the functionality of the mindset, dementia, the mindset of Alzheimer's, the mindset of MS, lupus, all these different immune problems are happening within the community, not just with us, sickle cell. All these different diseases are upon us, but we don't really realize it, that it's the food, it's the environment, it's the creation of the drama that we create within our communities, right? Because it's you. So you love the family gatherings, the barbecues, the soul food, but sometimes you eat more than your body needs. How many of you can agree with that? And stress is another reason, as I spoke upon earlier. So life can be tough, and food often becomes your comfort zone or your comfort way to manage that stress. But overeating can lead to serious health problems. Like I had said, in your communities, think about all your brothers around you and some of your sisters and vice versa. Your parents. This leads to high rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and many other prostate cancer, especially within the black community. And we just overeat shit like crazy. We take things way out of context. That's another problem I think we have in the community. We take things way out of context without even really addressing the issue or the root of the issue, why these things are compound. And we'll talk about this throughout this presentation, but I just want you to kind of identify some of these issues that you're dealing with on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? And those who are around you that's promoting this crap, because that's what you're putting in, junk food, hence. Do you know that Americanized African men are 1.7 times more likely to have diabetes than white Americans? And we see this. This is what's crazy about. We see these themes throughout our culture, throughout the music industry, throughout the entertainment industry, even when you're looking at movies, right? Movies. You're looking at the Lawrence Fishburnes and all these different brothers who actually had some type of health, good health, even in their younger years. Now they're getting all big, out of shape, wondering what's going on. Oh, I'm good eating. This is a good excuse we have within the black community, especially within our black men. Because look, what happened to the mentorship? What happened to the ideology of being the example, right? Being the example. This is what we have gotten away from. You know what I'm saying? We have gotten away from it truly. And then we're wondering why our new generations acting or lost their goddamn mind. Period. Hands down. When you're seeing this stuff of uncalled, out of character, being promoted on TikTok, being promoted on Instagram, being promoted on this social media, and it becomes successful. It literally becomes successful and promoted throughout the country, and then they're wondering why we accept it, and then hence we have it. Even like this beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. They both on the same label. Yeah, they might have an independent who's what, when, where, but they're working with the same people. You see what I'm saying? So this is a thing we don't get. McDonald's is McDonald's. Now, we understand that McDonald's is just going to make their money. That's all they about. They just about making the money, regardless if it's food or not. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is now we just going to these places and overeat and just give me two Big Macs, two fries, right? And then I want to drink that down with some Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi or whatever choice you make. It's still all messed up within your body. It's pure sugar, period. It's a big problem. But you can make changes. If you really want to make a change, you can make that change, brother. Now, you need to choose and think about some of these things that I'm kind of throwing out there to you. You also need to find ways to stay active, like dancing, walking, whatever it may be. Just get active. Get with your buddies who actually want to do some recreational activities. You remember back in the day when we was young, we wanted to play football. You go play some ball with your boys, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't take me wrong. The games were there, far as video games and whatnot, but you didn't spend all day, every day on the video games. You went out and played. You could do some hide and seek, something. You went out to go get some exercise. Especially with those of you who are in my generation, Generation X. You did things. You was outside. You was building forts. You was making it happen. Period. Even if you was chasing females or whatever the case may be, you was active, right? Now we just so caught up. We want to sit down and watch, sit down and watch my Netflix or sit down and watch my Amazon Prime or whatever the case may be, and do that all day, every day, or play a game all day, every day, just stuffing your mouth with sugar. Period. So you need to get active. Period. You need to get moving. So by making small changes, you can improve your health and live better quality of life. So we can make this difference, right? We can make this difference within our community. It's just about being in the community, being a representative of the community, being a mentor of the community. So what role does access to healthy food options in your community play in your eating habits, right? Something to think about. The relationship with food. Many of you are disappointed with the relationship you have with food. Now think about that. Many of you are disconnected. That's what it is. We're disconnected. We don't even really think about it because food is it's the process, right? Food is processed and we're eating like crazy throughout the day. 3+ meals, and then they got this lie to these bodybuilders, just as ridiculous. 6 meals plus. I remember now I forgot it. Rich Piana, this bodybuilder. He dead now, and he died in 2017. But it was interesting. This dude was eating like 12 meals a day, literally 12 meals a day. Don't take me wrong. He was a big dude, and he obviously was on steroids and all the rest of the compound pharmaceuticals. But at the same time, it was interesting. These extreme processes, this is another thing I think we don't pay attention. These extreme processes are destroying us. You got to be this way. You got to be this way. You got to be this. There's many ways to go about living a good life, living a quality life. Especially if you want to live longer, even though they have pharmaceuticals or pills and so-called youth of the water of youth, or however you want to look at it. They do got these pharmaceuticals that will keep you alive to some extent, but you won't be alive because you don't have your mind, right? You don't have your mind. You can't even get around because your body is so messed up with all this damage you have done throughout the time you have been on this plane, right? And I'm not saying you got to live forever either, but at the same time, you would think you want to live a valuable life, something that you can give back to humanity. That's why you're here to contribute, right? Especially brother, black man, you're here to contribute. Especially if you have children, build a legacy. That is what the legacy is about, right? What did you add to the value of this planet, or this plane? So common thoughts: knowing how to eat healthier, but lacking true nutritional knowledge. And awareness can lead you to better weight management, more energy, and zest for life. So how do you work schedules and time constraints impact your ability to prepare and eat healthier meals? Something to think about. The real challenge. It's hard to stay on course with health and fitness. It's hard to resist the influence of misleading food marketing. How many of y'all can think about that? The food marketing. They're geniuses, right? But this is the thing. They're taking all these surveys, they're taking all this data from you, from your cell phone, not just your cell phone, your computer, your activities, right? They're able to address and do the research on the activities you have been doing, that they can entertain, that they can advertise. They could put Kanye West on a Sprint commercial or whatever commercial. Food. Oh, I love Burger King, or I love Chick-fil-A or Chipotle, whatever the case may be. But at the same time, these elements influence or impact your life, but you don't really think about it because it's just part of the structure. It's part of the environment, right? So that's a real challenge. It's hard to shop responsibly for healthier food because they're telling you, you go to Walmart, they'll tell you it's organic. Come to find out, ain't no organic in that particular vegetable. Because all they got to do is say it's 1% organic. That's why it's a challenge within the food industry in general. Because we know the food industry is the tobacco industry, right? They're just like sugar. They're just like the tobacco industry, period. And you don't have to listen to anything I'm saying here. But when you look at the homework, when you look at the companies who's owning what, when, where, it's only a few companies that's running this. In this particular company that comes up, and a lot of the research I've been doing, BlackRock. I just stop right there. BlackRock owning these major multi-companies and conglomerates and all this other crazy stuff. And it's interesting because you don't hear from them ever again. Certain companies, you don't hear from, oh, this company got bought out. For example, that apple cider vinegar company, Bragg's, they got bought out by a celebrity. I forgot her name. And as a matter of fact, they're both celebrities. She married one of the celebrities, a Marvel. He's a Marvel character. He's one of the Marvel characters too. And you can do the homework. You don't have to listen to me or trust this, but at the same time, it's definitely do your homework. So come to find out, they bought the Bragg's a couple years ago. I think 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. They purchased the company. Then they got with that dude we call Bill Gates. Was known, and it's interesting too, because Bill Gates was he was fighting these I can't even pronounce the anti-laws, the multi-conglomerates, when they just buying up all the companies. They just buying up all the companies and creating their own company, right? But they was going against them back in the early 2000s, those of you who was around. And he finally won it. They finally got through it and got over it, and Microsoft became what it has been today. Even though he's still doing the same situation, buying up all these food companies. I mean, you see what he did with the lovely 2020 pandemic or plamidemic. Created this So he basically created some non-GMO or GMO seeds, far as apple seeds, and growing them and putting them in these stores now. Now they're starting to use it, and it's funny too because I just seen a advertisement that the apple cider vinegar was having. They was having worms up in the apple cider vinegar. Come to find out, it was this new solution that Bill Gates have used. Not just Bill Gates, but the company he purchased, obviously running it, and they're utilizing. And they came to an agreement with Bragg's new company owners, and basically put it in a nutshell, hooked it up, and we're starting to see the non-issues or issues with the Bragg's product. Like I said, do your own homework, do your own due diligence, because you definitely would see what I'm talking about. So let's move along. In what ways do social gatherings and events contribute to your overeating? What are some of the ways that social gatherings and events contribute to your overeating? Because I know we love our food. That's why I say deep dive into overeating. So problem number 1, daily life drama and stress eating. Right? Stress often leads to eating high sugars, spicy and cheesy foods. So it's 3 elements within our hormone system that actually contribute to our issues like obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. Yep, diabetes. So insulin, a hormone made by the pancreas that helps your body use sugar from food for energy, right? It also helps keep your blood sugar levels from getting too high or too low. Insulin. Now, if you ain't familiar with insulin, and you should be by now, interesting enough, it was kind of crazy because diabetes, you really didn't hear. Well, my awareness of diabetes was in the late 80s. And I didn't even know it was a disease. They didn't even make it, it wasn't even a disease when you think about it. Because all of a sudden it became a phenomenon in the 90s. All of a sudden the 90s, everybody you knew or somewhat in your loved ones, they starting to get diabetes or insulin. Oh, I need to, poke myself so I can get some blood to check my blood, and all this other stuff. I didn't find out till my grandmother. She had insulin, and one year we went, and I don't even know, maybe 89, somewhere around there. We ended up going to the hospital, and my grandmother had got a shot because she actually developed glaucoma as well. You know what I'm saying? So she had to get a shot in her eyeball, but I was highly aware that she had diabetes prior to that, but all these compound issues was showing, right? All these compound issues were showing. Then my uncle, he ended up becoming a diabetic, and it had overtaken his life. But then I was thinking, wow, look what we're eating, right? So in 99, remind you, this is what, 10 years? That was 10 years, 11 years, I became a vegetarian, right? I became a vegetarian because I seen a situation in my family members that was going. And it wasn't just my uncle, it was my grandmother, my uncle, then all of a sudden my pops, my mom, right? So I'm like, okay. And then other family members were getting it too. So I'm thinking, okay, it's time to change my eating habits, the way I'm eating, what I'm eating, and how I got to change my whole environment too as well. Because it's what we're putting on pork and this, that, and the third, and tearing up the food, right? Just tearing it up. And these are things I think we don't really think about because our environment is so supportive of the bullshit. Right? We don't question anything. So leptin is a hormone produced by fat cells that helps control hunger by telling your brain when you have enough energy stored and can stop eating. So this is the hormone that tells the triggers, right? Okay, you got enough food, stop eating, right? But we don't really address our food content. We don't address, even like using smaller bowls, right? Using smaller plates, for the portions of the foods we're actually eating and what we're eating. And then how many times we're actually eating, right? Eating food, because a lot of the food we're eating is a lot of sugar-based food, right? So it's addictive. So that's another thing, and we'll talk about this later on in the presentation, sugar, because sugar is one of those elements that keeps us eating and eating and overeating and causing all kinds of problems. So the next point would be ghrelin. Ghrelin, a hormone made in the stomach that makes you feel hungry and signals your brain that it's time to eat. Now, with all the sugar content and all the insulin being kind of low, this is where the problem of the sugar aspect come in. Not just the sugar, but food in general, the taste buds, the action, right? The action pack. Should I eat? Am I hungry? Am I truly hungry? Most of the time we're not truly hungry, and that's another thing too. When you're looking at, people are not starving. Even our homeless people are not starving. You see most of the homeless people now, they big as they big as you. And then we sit here and complain, but the problem is, just like any other thing, it's addictions, right? It's certain addictions, period. So I want to offer some solutions. Here's some solutions to think about or add in your repertoire, right? Meditation, reflection. Practice mindfulness before eating. Being grateful for what you do have access to. Consider healthy alternatives and brain foods as well. And this is where supplementation comes in to help out with fulfilling those particular needs when it comes to your neurotransmitters. You know what I'm saying? Fulfilling those neurotransmitters so you don't feel like you need to be eating this, that, and a third, because it is a counterbalance. That's why I would suggest engaging in yoga, deep breathing practices, listening to calm music, because this hip hop, I don't know what it is now, and I wouldn't even call it hip hop. I wouldn't even call it music, because it's not music. It's unbalanced, especially within this, I would say the last 20 years. I would say the last 20 years hasn't been no music, especially when it comes to hip hop, But it hasn't been no creativity. That's just my opinion. I think music died 2000. That's my take on it. So problem number 2, unfocused shopping. Going to the store without a plan leads to buying unhealthy foods. How many can agree with me on this one? Just go to the store, pick up whatever. Okay, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And and then another thing is like you buying food and it's only for a few days and that's it. And then they making all this processed stuff where it ain't even really food anymore. When it can sit on your shelf for 20, 30, 40 days. That's not food, brothers and sisters. That's something else, right? So I would suggest solutions. Discipline your actions. Always use a shopping list. Focus on veggies, fruits, and lean fats or lean meats, And we talk about this. I discuss these elements within my coaching program to show you how to focus and identify those elements or those particular foods that will help build your mind, your body, your soul, and your spiritual understanding, right? So avoid junk food to prevent, because this is adding a lot. The junk food is literally adding a lot of weight, extra problems, MS, all these immune diseases, period. Autoimmune diseases, they're definitely showing brightly. When you're talking like lupus, you're talking many other immune diseases that's shutting you down when you're talking your immunity, and the understanding of being able to control that. So, how does lack of nutritional education, and misinformation about food affect your choices? What are these problems? The love of soda, right? The love of soda. This is a huge one. A lot of people don't think about it on that level, but it is. Soda consumption contributes to obesity and diabetes. We all know this. We all have seen this. These are some of the ideology and concepts that we have been promoting throughout the black community. Sprite, right? Sprite is a huge one. Even though a lot of brothers don't drink that stuff. I mean, we prefer Coca-Cola. Some brothers prefer Pepsi. It's crazy, the ideology of what's going on, even the concepts of how it's actually been so embedded within our community. And we really, truly promote this. We promote this. These are at our so-called parties or at our gatherings. You know what I'm saying? And then we're wondering why we're so unhealthy, brothers. We're unhealthy, period. Then we looking at iconic people, dying of prostate cancer, dying of obesity, dying of heart failure. And I'm talking like Levert. I'm talking like, cats that was, impacted the industry, the music industry, or impacted the culture, black culture, and having these problems. I mean, look at, for example, Al Sharpton. Now, many of you may not agree with me on this, but Al Sharpton, whatever he's doing, it's killing him. A weight loss. Ozempic, right? Ozempic. A lot of these brothers is on that Ozempic, but I think he's been off. He hadn't even got that stuff. He's on something else and look bad. He looks bad. You know what I'm saying? He looks unhealthy. Yeah, he's older. I would agree with you on that. 70s. I think he's in his 70s, late 70s. But at the same time, no excuses. And he may be an informant. I don't know. Obviously he may be, but I'm not here to judge a man. All I'm saying is it's kind of ironic that we have these issues, problems, because we have been utilizing our teachers, and our teachers have been a different racial content, right? So they've been teaching us well. Therefore, we keep duplicating, we keep putting our own people down and not moving forward, right? But we'll talk about that later in another subject matter. So, in fact, people who drink soda regularly are 27% more likely to become overweight and obese. And it doesn't stop there. Drinking soda can also increase the risk of diabetes. People who drink one or more sodas a day have a 26% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And type 2 is a whole nother level. Right? Type 2 is a whole nother level. Then you start getting into 3 and you start realizing you're missing some things. Your memories start to lose. Certain things you can't walk up. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, the signs. But in our community, this is a big problem. Americanized Africans are already at a higher risk for diabetes, and drinking soda makes it even worse. Right? Makes it even worse. So the solution, drink more water. Everybody up here is funny too, because you got these brothers out here interpreting. I would say misinterpreting. You know who you are. You throwing this ideology out, and we got to be careful of what we listening to and who we kind of exalt, who we put up on the pedestal too. Do your own homework. Do your own due diligence. Like I said, don't listen to what I'm saying here. Just go do your own research. And this is the key thing here, is giving you a point, giving you a focus point where you can go look into this. I'm not telling you nothing new. The thing I get tired of is like, why do we got to keep repeating ourselves in the black community? Brother, why do we have to keep, literally repeating ourselves, telling you the same things that Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois was talking about back in the day? It's crazy what Marcus Garvey was telling us way back in the day, what Elijah Muhammad was telling you way back in the day. Are you with me? So drink more water. Stay hydrated with water. And you can always add certain components like lemon. You can do apple cider vinegar, finding a good source, that is. Lemon juice, you can add some lemon juice or lemon in that particular. Ginger root, it's many other factors in there. And this would actually benefit you. Drink water 20 minutes before, even before your meals, to manage your hunger. That helps a lot. And after you drink, after you eat, right? At least give it a good 10, 15 minutes. Problem number 4, eating out instead of home-cooked meals. Now, fast food is very convenient, and most times, fast food can be unhealthy. Even those who we claim that is cooking some real so-called dinners, right? Cooking some real food, even though it's not real food, we got to realize this is business, right? This is business. So a lot of times they're all about the money. It's got to be quick, right? It's got to be quick. What, 20, 30 minutes? Less than that, 20, 30 minutes? You can do your own cooking and prepping, right? So the solution is meal prep. Do your meal prep. Take a day, Sunday, whatever the day you may need. Plan and prepare your meals for the week. Set specific days for your meal preparation. Set them days up. Schedule them in. Prep your food. I was big on a crock pot. I would have some crock pot vegetables and put whatever else in there. And that would last me at least 4 days. Problem number 5, lack of food education. I'm not saying you have to be the sharpest tool in the shed, right? I'm saying be aware of what you're actually adding or putting in your body. It's just like a good book. What are you putting in your mind, right? Even with your videos and movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Take what you can, leave what don't work for you. But at the same time, put some good, prosperous, thankful knowledge within your mindset. Eating every 2 hours can lead to overeating and feeling out of control. And this is what we're doing. We're eating more than that, probably more than that, every hour, most people. But I'm talking to you, black man. It's time to get disciplined. It's time to get disciplined with every aspect of your life. We don't need this. We're going downhill. We're not going up. We're going downhill. And the hill is getting higher and higher. That's the messed up thing about the situation. The reality check. The hill is getting higher and higher. It's not even a hill. It's a mountain. And the mountain's getting higher and higher. We see what the economic situation's going on. How much the rich is making. How much the so-called broke is making. Because it is just rich. It ain't even rich and poor. It's rich and broke. It's rich and broke. When you got the so-called poor people, the poor people got 2 cars and this, that, and a third. They're not. That's the thing. We're living in a society that actually is very prosperous. The problem is, how do you look at it? Your interpretation. You see what I'm saying? It's your interpretation. So seek support. The solution is seek support. Keep a food journal. Exercise regularly. Seek guidance to support new eating habits. Or not just eating habits, every aspect habit of what you actually want to create or want to become. And You Are the Gym Club Academy, we offer nutritional and health courses as well to benefit you. This is why I'm here, to benefit you. I know my purpose. My purpose is here to help educate, to help enlighten, to help open the mind of my brother. Right? My purpose here on this plane. That's what I want to do. What impact do advertising and marketing of unhealthy foods have on your eating behaviors? So here's some practical solutions. 5 tips for better eating habits, right? And we talked about these tips. Practice mindfulness and reflection. Use a shopping list and avoid impulse buys. Drink more water, especially when added health benefits like electrolytes. That definitely will help you throughout the day. Prepare meals in advance and to avoid fast food. Seek support to maintain new, healthier habits, right? So secret strategies. What are some of the strategies in organizing this chaos that you're working with within your ideology or understanding of the human body or your body? How do you become a stronger black man? How do you become a stronger influence? How do you stop jeopardizing your integrity? How do you position yourself to become the man you is truly meant to be? What are these strategies? Rediscover new improved eating habits in 15 days or less. I have a program available for you. For those of you who want to take control, who want to take ownership or take possession of your mind, body, and soul, right? And finances. Manage weight better with shared habits. Seek help, brother. Seek help. Look for help. I'm here. I even started a Facebook group page for brothers like-minded to get an understanding. How can we start implementing, not just on a business mindset, entrepreneur mindset, but on our health, physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Fuck what everybody else is doing. Even with this voting. Look, we live in a country that don't give a fuck about you, brother. And we're seeing it day in, day out. Even these coonery brothers out here just doing anything and everything to get somebody to look at. Oh, look what I'm doing. But they ain't giving back to none of the black community. They ain't contribute, they ain't did shit for the community. But then we're wondering why we're going downhill or down this mountain. And the mountain is growing, brothers and sisters. Brothers. The brothers, literally, the mountain's getting higher and higher. And we getting left behind, as they would say. The world left behind. Yeah, we left behind, black man. And you know, we are the blueprint. Black men are the blueprint. Literally, we are the blueprint. We're the leaders that they're looking forward to. Hands down. Who cares whoever's running this so-called country? This country haven't been ran legitimately since the beginning of this country, period. And I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even give credit to that, because we have been taken outside of our whole existence, our environment, black man. Literally, we've been taken outside of our environment. That's why we have to increase our energy by implementing all these habits that I even expressed to you today. That's the secret sauce. That's the secret sauce. Who this works for? Who benefits? So, black man, those who struggling with overeating and seeking solutions. You want solutions? Here's a solution. Period. Here's a solution. Stop making excuses. I'm tired of these fucking excuses every fucking time. Even with how we're presented, how we present ourselves, we're coming with excuses right offhand. Oh, we can't get this. Oh, we can't do that. Yes, we can. Uh-oh, now I sound like Obama. Yes, we can. It can be done. We have to just implement, and we got to get discipline first and foremost. And we got to be bout it, like Master P was saying back in the day. We got to be bout it. That's one, brother. You might not agree with me on this one, but Master P have shown resilience through his career. This brother is now making food, right? He's doing he's in the cereals and all this other production, food production, and making something really solid. But we as a collective, we can't see. We don't have no vision. We don't have no vision. I mean, it's just like the BET situation. Why would you sell the BET brand if you're gonna be around? Oh, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, that sounds selfish. That didn't sound like you wanted to help your people. Uh-oh, Johnson. You heard me. Yeah, you better be looking at this. You might be a billionaire and you might have all the money in the world, but that don't save you, right? It don't save you. It don't make you no better. So individuals are ready to take responsibility for their eating habits. Are you ready? Anyone looking to improve their health and fitness? So I want to open it up for you right now, Q&A. So those of you who actually viewing this particular presentation, put your comments down below. You know, if you got questions, put them down below. Let me know what's up. The floor is open for questions. I definitely encourage you, even with your personal experiences and challenges, let me know what's up in the down below. If you don't want to put anything down in the comments down below of this particular presentation, email me at youarethegym@gmail.com. So conclusion, recap, and the final thoughts. Remember, the key to solutions are meditation, disciplined shopping, drinking water, meal prep, and seeking support. Take responsibility for your daily actions. That's really the key. And some of the resources here that you can incorporate with, and I thank you for your patience as well. Conquer the world, brother. You have the ability to do it. You are the one. And I'm out. Peace.